I think you were pretty gloomy after the weekend, and Jose had a go at his players and called them lazy, and there was the Dele Alli situation. I think you're a bit happier now, because it does look as if Gareth Bale's going to come back, even if it is only 1 year loan.
Yeah.
Got to be a good thing, hasn't it?
Yeah, huge lift. They lack creativity. That was glaring. I think that's been glaring for a long time now. Christian Eriksen had a quiet period even the year before he left, and he's the one who's got that something different. You can drop his shoulder, see a pass, but Gareth certainly got that. We certainly had it. 7 years. Let's not forget, it's 7 years since he's been at the football club. And the last year he was at the football club under Villas-Boas, prepared to go to China and see out his career. Has he still got the heart for it? Has he still got the drive? Does he really want to do it under pressure? Because without doubt, we're talking about it now. Everyone's expecting so much of him. But we have to remember, it's 7 years.
Do you think he's still got the body for it?
I think he has. I think he's missed a lot of games through injury. But I think he's capable. He's capable, and as I said, he doesn't have to play every single game. They've got Lucas Moura, don't forget. They've got Son. Let's pick their front three. Is there a better front three on paper in world football? Son, Harry Kane, Gareth Bale. Liverpool might argue there is, but they're right up there. It puts pressure now on Tottenham and Jose Mourinho.
Interesting, just have a quick look, as you say, about how much football he's missed, what he's done in the last couple of seasons. You remember his brilliant goal in the spring of 2018 to win the Champions League. Zidane didn't really fancy him. Zidane then left, so he played a lot of football. But the minute Melissa Zidane has come back, he spent a lot of time playing golf since. So you could see how little football he's played in the last 18 months.
Yeah, and the difficulty with Gareth Bale, who for me is a game changer. He's such an explosive player. He's a player that's very hard to mark against because he's got so much in his locker. And he is so dynamic, so whatever you try and do to put him off, he can counter what you have to defend him. He has the ability to score absolutely outrageous goals, as we saw in the Champions League, but he makes things happen out of nothing, whether it is taking the ball on and all that stuff. So, for me, very, very good player. A very, very good player that we haven't seen often enough, not by his own doing. As you say, that relationship with Zidane had been very frosty and it only got worse. Real Madrid had
do we know why Zidane didn't fancy him? He scores an outrageous goal in the Champions League final and Zidane barely congratulates him.
Yeah.
He scores the goal of his life on the occasion of his life, and the manager, it might have muttered a well done, but it didn't feel like it watching it.
I remember at the time that players had spoken to some of the Real Madrid guys, and the feedback was that everyone thought Zidane was just there as a figurehead. The players were doing
the work.
Yeah, the work themselves. They were self-managed, basically. And I think a few of them, Ronaldo included, so it wasn't actually surprising that Ronaldo left after that Champions League win and La Decima and all that stuff, because quite a few players didn't actually fancy Zidane. And I think Bale cannot hide his emotions or whatever. You know what Gareth Bale is thinking and feeling, and as we've seen it. So that relationship just has never worked. But there's a split at Real Madrid because the hierarchy invested a lot of money in Gareth Bale. He was a massive project for them. And they wanted him to stay. He had offers last summer, like to mention China, but there was an £89 million bid from a Premier League club for him that Real Madrid turned down because they wanted him to stay. And they wanted Zidane to play him. So there's that political battle happening.
If you're paying him 600 grand a week, no wonder you want to play him. Yeah.
Exactly. They made a massive investment in him. So, okay, we haven't seen him often enough. And then the question is, as Tim's saying, does he still have that intensity, that desire, that need to want to be one of the best players in the world? And it's a very hard question to answer because I can understand why he's not showing it at Real Madrid. He doesn't feel the love there. He's unwanted. No matter how well he trains or how well he plays, he's not going to be in the team regularly. So why must you be enthusiastic or why must you be, excited by your prospects over there? Yeah. You're not going to have the right attitude.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Because we simply don't know the answer. He's 31 now. Are we going to see, a 23-year-old, under Villas-Boas playing the counter-attack, bending them in from 30 yards? Or are we going to see a man whose edge has just gone a little bit? Because let's don't be dead, he's won 4 Champions League. Yeah. Man is the most successful British export of all time, football-wise.
Yeah, but with everything what everybody's said there, we are still talking about Gareth Bale coming back to the Premier League and maybe still showing people that he's still got it. Like Tim's mentioned, he could have went to China, and people will probably question his desire now simply because it was something that he might have wanted to do. But in his mind, where he was, like Melissa said there, no love, no matter how well you're training, no matter how well you're playing, you're not playing. And that came and he might have just thought, yeah, I'll just go and do that. But now it's Tottenham.
The difference with Wales, when he's on international duty, how he applies himself and carries himself when he's with this, it tells you the story about why his attitude is the way it is.
He needs to be made to feel
when he comes back,
he's at his best.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and when he comes back to Tottenham, it will be all about it. We'll have to change his game a little bit. We're not going to see... The thing is, we're seeing some amazing goals there, and we're all expecting maybe to see that. I think he's got to get himself going again, and maybe even modify his game. So he like Cristiano Ronaldo's done. Playing in that kind of role where you kind of conserve yourself for the tip of the game, right at the end there, and make the difference.
It's a shame across the board there are no fans, but I feel for Bale it's particularly a shame there are no fans, isn't it? Can you imagine his first game back at the new Tottenham Stadium with it, the atmosphere in it heaving, Bale, the prodigal son returns and all that. You're gonna have to do it yourself when you're away at whoever you're away at.
The environment's going to be completely different.
Completely.
It's a completely different environment for him. That brand new stadium now, the training ground. Listen, 2 months ago, if you would have asked me, Mark, I said he's more likely to join Wentworth as a Wentworth golf club, load of football club. Yeah. But now,
do you think it'll work?
Like if he's going to come back there, it looks like he's really got the love again. I think there's going to be no short of love. We talked about everyone needs love. They're going to get that. Even though there's no fans in that stadium, the fans now, the Tottenham fans they would expect, and that puts huge pressure on the manager. Because they're going to say, now, you've got the tools now. We know, realistically, they need a little bit more.
Because you said the front three will be great if he comes back. What about the rest of the team, bearing in mind what you saw against Everton?
Defensively, I'm still unsure, and Jose's unsure. The best left-back they have at the club has no longer got a squad number, which is Danny Rose. Danny Rose is the best left-back Tottenham have. He's better than Ben Davies. Ben Davies can play left side of a free if Jose wants to go that route, but he doesn't. He likes to play a flat back.
Well, he's going to sign Reguilon from Real Madrid, so that should put that in there.
But we don't know if he's any good. It's all right bringing these names in from foreign countries where they've never played in the Premier League. This is the toughest league in the world, and it might take him 18 months to settle. You might have a new manager by the time he settles, because if he doesn't perform and get Tottenham to the Champions League next season, Jose won't be there. That is the criteria. You need to be in the Champions League, and they're not this year. I see them finishing in, and maybe possibly, along with a lot of other English teams, winning the Europa League, and that's the easier route to qualify for the Champions League. If you ask me now, even with Gareth Bale, will they finish in the top 4 this year? I'd say no. I'd say Daniel would expect them to, because he'd think Gareth Bale will make the difference. Will Jose expect him to? He needs to give that confidence to the dressing room, to the boys, to believe they can. But on the showing, what we saw at the weekend was a massive disappointment. There was no guile in the middle of the pitch. They all looked very similar. Højbjerg had come in there. Winks was poor. They all looked very similar. Lo Celso was the most improved player at the back end of last season. He can find a pass. Hopefully he'll be back. And they need to find the right blend. But at the moment, right through
This is a godsend for Mourinho. Is this just what Mourinho needs after their terrible weekend?
Possibly, but it's huge. Yeah, it's a lift. It's a huge lift, but Jose knows it adds massive pressure to him. He's done it before. He's got a free transfer in Zlatan Ibrahimovic at Manchester United. He knew that player. He doesn't know Gareth Bale. He knew Zlatan. He knew him as a man. He brought him into that dressing room and he won a couple of trophies with him. But I think he had better players around Zlatan. Now he's coming in, not with bad players. We talk Harry Kane and Son at world-class level, do we not? I certainly do. So they've got the power going forward. I think defensively, they're not good enough. And I think they need to do something about it. But Jose will probably like the fans not being there, the way he will adapt his style. His style at the moment is to be pragmatic, sit back and have counter-attack. And there's no better players to have counter-attack than Son and Gareth Bale.
Yeah. I think he will actually be quite decisive if he's used, like Ian said, if things are geared for him a little bit. You don't want Gareth Bale trying to dribble for 50 yards or whatever. Give him the ball in the final third or just outside the box and stuff where he can hurt the opposition, or like we say, breaking rapidly, but not breaking on his own. He used to have to basically take teams
I think
on
Son can
by
keep
himself.
up with him now, couldn't he?
Yeah. So he's got Son, he's got, like Tim said, better players around him now. He's obviously learned how to not be individualistic at Real Madrid, where, it is a collection of really great individuals, but you have to be subservient a little bit there to the team. So he will have grown a lot. I think Jose will know how to maximise his strengths.
Do you think, Melissa, that Jose, if Gareth Bale, let's say that everything was brilliant and he came and done fantastically well, would that kind of throw Jose? Because, that's not the kind of guy he wants around him. He wants it to be about him all the time. So if Gareth Bale comes and starts doing all great things and all the focus is on Gareth Bale, what is Jose?
That's what he needs at the moment, doesn't he? Because it's faced Everton game, and when you see how the other teams started, you're thinking champions. 15 months since the Champions League final, the Champions League looks a long way away.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is that because it might go well like that, is Jose going to self-destruct it and just mess it all up? He's got that vibe about him.
I actually wanted to ask Tim a question on this. In terms of, you said his style is to be pragmatic. One of the things I found really difficult watching Tottenham and under Mourinho, and I don't know if this impacts the players or whatever, is that there's no concrete identity. So you knew what Pochettino's Spurs were all about. You know what Guardiola's City, Klopp's Liverpool,
Arteta's Arsenal.
Arteta's Arsenal. I don't know what Tottenham are going to do on a week-to-week basis, because he is whatever that game, whatever it takes to win that game, that's what he does, as you're saying.
Well, maybe we might now. Maybe they will become a
nor do I.
Attacking team.
Nor do I know what their plan is. And nor do the players, which is the most alarming thing.
Yeah.
Jose's come out after the game and said he was lazy in your pressing, high-intensity pressing. So he's all set from the front.